What if you can send perfectly formatted Gmail drafts from Excel, personalized and pre-written and ready to go with just one click? No Outlook, no copy pasting, just clean automation. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to build this Gmail form that allow you to send Gmails from Excel using VBA and a little bit of Python. Very exciting tutorial, and if you stick until the end, you will have a very powerful tool that allows you to send Gmails and can save you hours each week. Let's build it together step by step. I'll show you how to make it scalable and powerful. Let's go. All right, let's have a quick overview over the sheets here. We have the data sheet with all our contacts, department, role, email, city, status, start date, manager, and notes. Then we have our template sheet where we have our email templates, and then we have our log sheet. Let's go to Visual Basic, Alt F11. So first I'm inserting a new user form, and I'll rename it to something like email form just to keep it clear. Then I set the height to 450 and the width to 650. We're also going to code that in the user form. That gives us a nice medium-sized layout to work with. Then we insert a list box. This is here our contact goes into. We're going to set the height and the width and position it somewhere in the middle. Then we have our labels, which is the titles for our controls. So we have our label 2. Then we have our selected template. And then we have our subject line in the email. Let's copy paste this. And here we have the email body, the text in the email. Let's copy paste a label down here and delete the caption, because this is our label for the status. So this will tell the user what's the status that we're sending an email from to Gmail. Then we need our 4 boxes here. We have a text box here. And we will set the width to 264. Then we insert a combo box and we set the width to 108. Then we just copy paste this text box 2 times. We have here for the subject, we can make that a little bit smaller. So we can write the width 144, like so. Copy paste it for the body. And this also needs to be 264 in the width. And then we have it a little bit higher because this is the email text. And then we're gonna change multi-line from false to true so we can write multiple lines. That's very important. Then we have our 2 command buttons here. One for send. This will send the email from Gmail. And we can change the height to 40. And maybe reduce the size of the width to 130. Position the button, copy paste it, because we also need a refresh button. This will refresh the user form. Then we're gonna label our controls. The list box we're gonna name LB data. The text box 2 we're gonna call TXT2. And the combo box for the selected email template we call CMB template. And the subject TXT subject. And then the last one of our boxes, TXT body. Then our 2 buttons will be named BTN send and BTN refresh. And then we have our label down at the bottom. We're going to call that LBL status. That's all our controls. Now we can take a look. This is how it looks like. And now we're going to copy paste the style form code in to give it a more modern look so it looks better. You can download the data sheets plus the style code. Link is in the description. So you double click on the form and we'll go to user form. Select initialize. We can just get rid of this code. And then you copy paste the style form code in, which is called applied light style. So we're gonna have a applied light style and we copy paste it in user form initialize. Show the form, and now you can see it looks a little bit more fresh compared to what we had before. Moving on. All right, let's start by initializing the user form. We first set the form with height 450 and width 650. That gives us enough space for our controls. For the LB data list box, we define 10 columns and specify exact width for each column. This ensures the data is cleanly displayed. Finally, we call load data to pull information from the data sheet, and load templates to populate our email template dropdown. I have commented out the two modules because we haven't coded it yet. That's what we're gonna take a look at now. In the load data procedure, we start by referencing the data worksheet and calculating the last used row in column A. We clear the list box to avoid duplicates. Then we loop from row 2 to the last row. For each row, we add a new item to the list box and populate all 10 columns using list indexing. This gives us fully populated list box showing all email records from the sheet. The load templates procedure loads pre-defined email templates from the templates worksheet. Then we define our variables. We're gonna dim the worksheet, the last row, and I. These are our variables we're gonna use for this model. We're gonna set the workbook sheet equal templates. That's where we have the templates data. We first find the last row of the sheet. Then we clear any existing items in the CMB template combo box. The reason why I didn't recognize the CMB template was that I have been misspelled it in the control name. Let's correct it and move on. Finally, we loop through each row and add the template name from column A. These templates will later be used to autofill the subject and body fields in the form. Alright, a quick tip how to make the user form pop up in the middle of the Excel screen. Go to UserForm Initialize and write me.startup position equals 0. And then write these two lines that will position the Excel user form in the middle depending on how big your screen is. Let's just copy paste this line again. And then change to the top. The same here. And change the application dot height. And also change height here. That's it. Now the user form will pop up in the middle of the screen. Now let's look at the send button. This is where the actual automation happens. First, we check that all required fields are filled. The recipient's email, the subject, and the message body. If any are missing, we exit early with a warning. Next, we grab the recipient's email from the txt2 text box. And also extract the name from the selected row in the list box. This is used to personalize the email content, which is pretty cool. Then we replace any placeholders in the subject and body, like this text, name, in brackets with the actual recipient's name. We also clean up line breaks in the body text, replacing them with the %0a format so they display correctly inside Gmail's Compose window. Instead of manually typing the email, we'll use Python to open Gmail in the browser and pre-fill everything, recipient, subject, and the body, automatically. The Python script is very simple. It builds an URL for Gmail Compose view using URL lib.parse.code and opens it with webbrowse.open. We save the script as a temporary .py file and run it from VBA using the shell command. This opens a new Gmail tab in your browser ready to send, all filled out based on your selection. Finally, we log the send activity in the log sheet. This includes the timestamps, the recipient's name and email, and which template was used. If something goes wrong at any point, an error message is shown and the status label turns red. Otherwise, you'll see a success message. Open Gmail Compose and you're ready to hit send. This submodule is called a few seconds after the Python script is running. Its job is simple. It deletes the temporary .py file we created for sending the email. First, we use the file system object to access the file system. We then build the full path to the temp file. In this case, send/gmail/web.py inside the system's temp folder. If the file exists, we delete it using delete file. This keeps the system clean and prevents leftover scripts from piling up in the temp directory. It's a small step, but it's a good practice for automation tools like this. Then we're gonna code the refresh button. That's quite simple. We're gonna load data. We're gonna load templates. We're gonna set LBL status caption equal blank. Then we're gonna insert a module, and we're gonna call that open form, where we open frm email form.show. So we're gonna open the email form, inserting a shave, and call it open form. Right click on the button, assign macro, and select our Gmail user form open. Then we also need to clear some more things in the load templates. We're going to need cmb templates.value equal blank and set txt subject.value equal blank and txt body.value.blank. That way all the fields is going to be cleared when we click refresh. Now it's time for testing the form, and we're going to select from our list box above here. So you can see two changes every time we have a selection in the list box. So let's pick John and select template welcome email. Then we have the welcome to the team email, and now click send. And then it opens up Gmail. And you can see with the correct name, it replaced the placeholder name with John Smith because that's the person we selected. It had inserted his email and the subject line and the body text. And we are ready to hit send. Let's run another test. Sarah Lee, let's send her apologies update. Click send. And you can see here also the email here is formed and ready to send. Next one, we can refresh and then click David, IT access, and send him your IT access email. Again, here it customizes it and ready to send. Then let's pick Michael Brown here and send him the meeting request. Click send. It has a placeholder as well, but it replaces it with Michael Brown. You see another email meeting invitation ready to send. And then close the form. Let's check the log sheet here. All emails is logged, and you can see here it's logged with timestamp, name, email, which email template that has been used, and status. And that's it. Congratulations, you just built your Gmail user form with a little bit of Python. If you like this video, I'm sure you're gonna like also my full email automation build that is linked here in the video and in this description. In this full email automation tutorial, I'm gonna teach you how to build an email form that includes contact form, email templates, and logging as well. That's a pretty cool training. Go watch that now if you want to learn more Excel automation builds. And then I will see you in the next video.